ओ जय गिरिवरधारी ओ जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी ओ जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा हो जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा श्रील प्रभुपदा श्री राधा गिरी गोवर्धनधारी के जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद के ताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। Hare Krishna. Welcome all to Sunday morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. So we are continuing our discussion from Canto number 10, chapter 14. So we covered till verse 38 and 39 yesterday. So because 38 and 39 are such an important verses, we're going to again just revisit them and just discuss some more insights into it. So maybe we can start by first reciting verse 39, all of us. So I'll start. Anujanihi mam Krishna Sarvam tvam vetsi sarvadrek Tvam eva jagatam natho Jagat etat tavarpitam Anujanihi mam Krishna Sarvam tvam vetsi sarvadrek Tvam eva jagatam natho Jagat etat tavarpitam Anujanihi mam Krishna Sarvam tvam vetsi sarvadrik Tvam eva jagatam natho Jagat etat tavarpitam. Prabhuji's. Anujanihi mam Krishna Sarvam tvam vetsi sarvadrik Tvam evam jagatam natho Jagat etattavarpitam. Anujanihi mam Krishna. Sarvam tvam vetsi sarvadrik. Tvam evam jagatam natho. Jagat etattavarpitam. Anujanahi mam Krishna. Sarvam tvam vetsi sarvadrik. Tvameva jagatam natho. Jagat etattavarpitam. Anujanahi mam Krishna. Svarvam tvam vetsi sarvadrik. Tvam eva jagatam natho. Jagat etattavarpitam. Anujanahi mam Krishna. Sarvam tvam vetsi sarvadrik. Tvam eva jagatam natho. Jagat etattavarpitam. Anujanihi mam Krishna. Sarvam tvam vetsi sarvadrik. Tvam eva jagatam natho. Jagat etattavarpitam. So we read the word to word. I'll just repeat the translation again. My dear Krishna, I now humbly request permission to leave. Actually, you are the knower and seer of all things. Indeed, you are the Lord of all universes, and yet I offer this one universe unto you. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahiyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vande Ham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, just for the new people, we are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 11, and we are again, Chapter 14, and we are again discussing verse 38 and 39. So what's the background? Basically what's happening is we're coming to the end of the 14th chapter, which is also kind of the conclusion of Krishna's boyhood pastimes. So in boyhood, the children were given charge of managing the calves, not the cows, only little calves, and they used to always stay around Vrindavan, not too far. But in the next chapter, basically, Krishna will be given charge of the cows, and that day also celebrated in Gokul as Gopashtami. So we're discussing Lord Brahma's prayers. So firstly, what we are seeing here in this verse and the previous verse as well, how Lord Brahma is being so humble and he's saying, I cannot understand Krishna. So let's first understand who is first Lord Brahma, who cannot understand Krishna, what Lord Brahma's position is. So we are reading that, what Lord Brahma did, what he actually got bewildered. He kind of stole Krishna's friends and calves, hid them for a year, and then he found that Krishna actually in this time, he kind of expanded himself and created multiple duplicates of himself. And he created an exact replica of each cowherd boy and calf, while the real cowherd boys and calves were, in a cave. And when Brahma came back in a moment, which is an year of Earth's time, he's seeing Krishna is again enjoying the same pastimes with the calves. So he just realized, oh my God, he's the Supreme Lord. He's something else. I'm getting bewildered. What just happened, because I've abducted the cows and the calves and the little children, but here Krishna has created everything back again, and he could see that all of those are Vishnu's. So he understood his position, and then he's saying, these prayers are basically prayer for it's an apology. It's also a blessing. It's also forgiveness. It's everything. So up till this verse, Krishna is, Lord Brahma is asking for, offering his prayers. And the verse 38, which we did the previously, is kind of a conclusion of those prayers. So it's a very important verse. So we'll read the translation of that verse again. And Sakira Prabhu very nicely covered that yesterday in the morning Zoom Bhagavatam class. So the purport of the last verse 38 says, there are people who say, I know everything about Krishna. Let them think that way. As far as I am concerned, I do not wish to speak much about this matter. Oh my Lord, let me say this much. As far as your opulences are concerned, they are beyond my mind, my body, and words. So he's being very humble, but very honest at the same time as well. So Lord Brahma is making such an emphatic statement, like, I don't know about your opulences, but like, who is Lord Brahma? Lord Brahma is the first living entity of this creation. So when this creation happened, he was the first living entity that got created. And he is the first living entity on whom the knowledge was imparted by Krishna at the start of the creation. So, Tene Brahmaya Hridaya Adi Kavaye. So, Krishna revealed knowledge into the original being, which is Lord Brahma, into the heart of the original being, which is Lord Brahma. So, he revealed that knowledge into heart of Lord Brahma. So, it's not an ordinary position. He's very exalted personality. And Lord Brahma cannot understand Krishna through his mind, his body, his words. Now, let's break this, his mind, his body, his words. What does Lord Brahma does with mind, his body, his words? So when he got created, of course, he got all the knowledge from Krishna in the heart, But still, he engineered the whole creation before creating it in his mind. He created what is going to go everywhere. He was the architect. He was the planner, everything. He sought out everything. This is the space, this is the raw materials that Krishna has given me, this is the knowledge Krishna has given me. But he engineered everything in his mind. So it's not an ordinary mind. Yeah? It's not like our mind. We are struggling to, build one house or, build something, we get stressed, He built a whole universe. So it's not an ordinary mind. Okay. So his mind is not an ordinary. Now what he did with his body? With his body is actually, he engineered something, but to create something, he actually used his body to create everything. So his body is also not ordinary, very exalted. And his words, he cannot understand Krishna through his words. But this is the same Brahma who spoke Vedas from his words. He knows the Vedas. So again, not an ordinary personality who speaks Vedas, Of course, Krishna reveals the knowledge in his heart, but he is speaking them. He is chosen by Krishna to do that. So again, not an ordinary person. So his words are also exalted. So that exalted Brahma with his exalted mind, exalted body and exalted words is not able to understand Krishna. So that's a very, very emphatic statement by Lord Brahma. So what do we learn about this? That if Lord Brahma cannot understand Krishna's opulences, what to speak about other living entities? What to speak about insignificant entities like us? We cannot even, conceive the beginning of Krishna's opulences. So if Lord Brahma is humble, firstly, we should be humble as well. That we should learn that, okay, Krishna's opulences is definitely beyond my reach to capture. So, we learned about the position of Lord Brahma, where he is coming from, why he said said what he said, yeah. Now let's discuss the next point. Okay, we cannot completely understand, but how do we get whatever knowledge on Krishna's opulence? Whatever knowledge is available. So, Srila Prabhupada used to say, God is great, but how great he is, we do not know. He is great. How great he is, we actually do not know. But we can get some sense of his greatness by hearing and reading Srimad Bhagavatam, which we are doing right now. We can get some sense. This is also not all opulences of Lord. This is also a part of his opulence. His opulence is beyond. His opulence is a lot more. So when Prabhupada's Western disciples, when Prabhupada brought his Western disciples to India, and they wanted to share Krishna consciousness with the local people, the local people used to say, actually, we know everything about Krishna. We know. You are new into this. I am practically born into this. So, we know. So, you don't have to tell us about Krishna. We know about that Krishna. So, anyone, based on what we just learned about what Lord Brahma is saying, what our position is, so anyone actually who's claiming they know about Krishna, that is the very sign, actually they don't know anything about Krishna. One who knows about Krishna actually can claim to say, I don't know anything about Krishna. This is the sign of knowledge. But one who's saying, I know about Krishna, that is a sign of lack of knowledge. So, and also actually showing if someone says, I know about Krishna, that is actually they don't have, what they're trying to say, I don't have much interest in knowing about Krishna. I know what I want to know, but I don't have much interest. That's actually what we understand from that. So, but devotees, they always claim, I don't know anything about Krishna. I'm trying to know whatever I can through mercy of Srila Prabhupada, his books and the Acharyas and Vaishnavas. But I personally don't know anything about Krishna. So, because it's not a matter of intellectual knowledge. It's not a knowledge of Wikipedia. Okay, Krishna was born here, Gokul, then Vasudev took him, Krishna was born in Mathura, and then Vasudev took him to Gokul. So this is knowledge, this is Wikipedia knowledge. This is intellectual knowledge. Anyone can access that knowledge these days. But when devotees hear about Krishna, it's not just intellectual knowledge. They're actually associating with Krishna. So hearing about Krishna is actually practically associating about Krishna. When we chant the holy names, it's not any word. Why we are able to chant? Because we are associating with Krishna. Krishna is present. Here, Krishna is present. So, so basically, because we don't know about Krishna, we don't also understand what is real knowledge. We need to know something about Krishna. We need to start learning about Krishna. So, okay, we say, okay, if I don't know about Krishna, this is my present position, that's an honest position. How do I start knowing about Krishna? So, Krishna himself gives the solution to that. He says, okay, what is to be known? Krishna is to be known. So, he says in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma karma cha vedivyam evam yo veti tatvataha tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mam iti so Arjuna. So, translation goes like, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, takes birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. I'll repeat. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. So we know that we need to know about Krishna's transcendental appearance and activities. Okay. We established that. We need to understand Krishna's appearance and activities. Okay. So this we understand what is to be known. But now let's discuss, Krishna is so kind, If someone tells you, okay, I want khichdi, make khichdi. Said, okay, how? Oh, I don't know about that. You figure out ingredients, you figure out where to find the recipe, you figure out everything, you figure out where you're going to find a stove, the gas, everything. You say, I appreciate you're telling me, but I would really appreciate if you tell me how to do it because I want to serve you. So Krishna is exactly opposite. Krishna is nice. Krishna even tells you how to do that as well. So Krishna says in 18.55, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yash chasmi tatvataha tato mam tatvato gyatva vishate tad anantaram. So Krishna says, one can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. Only by bhakti, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter the kingdom of God. So what is to be known? His activities, appearances. How is to be known? By devotional service. He gives the recipe as well, by devotional service. So basically, if we render devotional service to Krishna, Krishna will reveal himself. So devotional service is the process. If we follow that process, Krishna will reveal. We cannot just force that knowledge in. Krishna will have to reveal himself to us. So, how will he reveal himself to us? Okay, say, okay, Krishna, can you just give me some idea what I'm going to get? I'm going to follow this process. I'm signing up for this. How are you going to reveal, or at least in what phases you're going to reveal yourself? So, Krishna will reveal himself through his name, his form, his qualities, his pastimes. So first is name, and then from name, the form is revealed. And from form, the qualities are revealed. And then the pastimes. So, along with it, what will be revealed is his opulences. So we can understand Krishna through only bhakti and devotional service. So bhakti is not devotion. Prabhupada used to mention that. Bhakti is not this very, very emotional feeling of love. Yes, that's there. But Prabhupada says it's not devotion, it's devotional service. Because the application of that is service, which is bhakti in action. You do some practical service for Krishna. Yeah? And also there are 9 processes of devotional services. Shravanam, starting with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Sparanam, yes. But then, for us who are starting, we need to also do whatever practical devotional service that is underpinning these 9 processes. So, who is underpinning the 9 processes of devotional service in today's world? What institutions are facilitating that? Who are making sure these 9 processes of devotional service are, going on, especially starting with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Sparanam. It's temples. Yeah, we are sitting in a temple, we are hearing, we are chanting, we are hearing, we are remembering. So, we need to support these institutions because they are spreading those. And in this way, when we do service, the knowledge will be revealed to us by Krishna internally. So, okay, we discussed about firstly understanding our humility, that we don't know anything. Then Krishna tells us what is to be known, his appearance, his activities. Then how is to be known? By devotional service. Now let's discuss what aspects we need to know about Krishna. So when we approach Krishna through devotional service, we increasingly become aware of 2 aspects of Krishna. Yeah, 2 aspects. What are the 2 aspects? One is aspect is his opulences or vaibhav. And then another opulence, another thing is his sweetness. So his opulences, his sweetness, and both are very, very equally important. You cannot have one without the other. So as aspiring devotees of Krishna, we must follow the process, and we should not try to, create our own process, our own way. We should follow an established process, and then we will reach the destination. But if we try to create our own process, we could deviate in our path. Yeah? So I'm not sure if you're hearing an example of Gokuleshwar Prabhu. He was giving an example. If an ant is going from point A to point B, like this is point A, point B. Hypothetically, if the ant distracts its route by 0.002 degrees, nothing, you think, oh, 0.02 degrees, it's nothing, it's practically a 0 degree, But you will realize when the ant walks with that deviation, it will actually reach there. And then if you have to go point B, technically it has to go there, but if it's again 002 degrees ordered, it will reach somewhere outside. So if we do deviate from the path, it could actually take a lot of time to reach the destination, which is not efficient. And plus, we might not even reach the destination. It could be that long. So this point A is our current condition in this material world. And then the point B is Krishna's abode, Golok Vrindavan. And these different points are different lifetimes in different species. To the amount of deviation we have, we are being forced into different species. And then we are going around samsara chakra, changing bodies. So we need to try and make sure, follow the process, get it right, and reach the destination, point A to point B, which is the shortest line, a straight line, which is follow the process. So, but we see, some people really are attracted to Krishna's sweetness, and you can't blame them. Krishna's sweetness is so attractive. Everyone wants to get attracted to sweetness. So, for example, there are subjects, learn mathematics. Oh my God, I need to learn mathematics. But, someone likes music. Oh, I can learn music all day long. It's so sweet. And I enjoy it as well. It's my nature as well, But mathematics is also important in life, It doesn't discount because you like something, the other subject is not important. Actually, if you see music also, I play music, there's also a lot of mathematics, all the surs and everything, there is actually a mechanical calculation every 7 times it repeats. And if you know one, how you get other, if you have good mathematics, you can actually be a very good musician as well. So, basically, so some people really attracted to Krishna's sweetness, and they, out of emotion or distraction, they, straight away jump to Canto 10, and not just Canto 10, to the most confidential pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan. Krishna pastimes with the gopis. And what happens is they get bewildered. What's happening? I can't understand. So, this is why it is recommended that we should try and study Srimad Bhagavatam from Canto 1. So Canto 1 is like, if we say Bhagavatam is the Archa Vigraha of Krishna, Canto 1 is his feet. So when we do the darshan of Archa Vigraha, we start from the feet, and then we start up. And then Canto 10 is like Lord's face. So we straight away, slowly and steadily rise up. We don't straight away see the face. So we need to understand Krishna's opulences first, understand the tattva first. And only when we know his opulences, then only we can appreciate Krishna's sweetness. Yeah? Only if we know Krishna's opulences, that's why it's so important. Lord Brahma is saying, I cannot understand Krishna's, your opulences through my mind, body, words. But if you don't understand anything about his opulences, it's actually practically impossible to appreciate his sweetness. How? So let's take an example. So, does anyone know who's the CEO of Amazon? Anyone? Jeff Bezos. Okay, Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is CEO of Amazon. Imagine on a Bhagavatam day, Jeff Bezos comes and sits in the Bhagavatam class. And then after the class, we go to Prashadam hall. He's actually serving everyone, Prashadam. He's cleaning everything. He's closing the lights, cleaning everything, closing the altar, helping in everything. And then taking Prashadam, the last person, And if someone knows he's actually that person, Jeff Bezos, how will you feel about him, what he has done? Prabhu? What will you feel if someone does like that? Someone like a materially great person does some menial service, what do you feel?
Great about that person, that he's so humble, even though he has been such a great, he has done so many things in his life.
Absolutely. So you're appreciating him. You are noting.
Proud of his position.
Absolutely. But Jeff Bezos, he's CEO, he's doing all this. What appreciating? He could have done anything, He's one of the richest persons in the world. So if we know that person, he'll appreciate it. But imagine on the same day, a person just come out from the woods and he just come here for prasadam. He doesn't sit in the class, he's just eating prasadam. He doesn't know any devotee, and he doesn't know Jeff Bezos. He has got no access to news, he's got no access to media or anything. And he sees Jeff Bezos serving. Mataji, what emotion he will have?
He will think he's an ordinary person and he is doing his work and he will have his prasadam and he will make no problem.
Absolutely. So much difference in the realization in the two people. Why? Because Prabhu had some knowledge about that person, his opulences, and that too is just a material person, And then that other person has no knowledge, he cannot appreciate. He's just a normal person. What's the big deal? Yeah? So, basically, because we know he's not an ordinary person, although he's on the material platform, whatever small he does is worth appreciating. So now, Jeff Bezos is just merely a mortal human, limited to just material opulence, which is temporary, his life is temporary. So what to speak about Krishna, Lord Brahma says, I cannot understand his opulence. Yeah? So what does that tell us? To appreciate someone, we need to know about someone. And to know about Krishna is to appreciate his sweetness, we need to first know about his opulences. So when Lord Brahma says, I cannot know about his opulences, of course, that we have to be humble, but that doesn't mean we don't need to try to learn about his opulences because it's, out of my league now. No. We need to try. Because Prabhupada says, Srimad Bhagavatam gives us that glimpse. Because through acharyas we can learn. We cannot understand, but because acharyas can understand, we just need to hear them, and then we will get some glimpse of understanding, whatever is needed. So we should make an attempt to understand, about him before his sweetness is revealed. So what kind of things, Krishna is omnipresent. He's all pervading. He's present everywhere. He's in the atom. He's also in between the atoms. Yeah. He is omnipotent. He's capable of everything. He's got Satya Sankalpa Shakti. Whatever he desires will happen. He's omnipotent. He can do anything. That's why people go to Krishna for help, because he's omnipotent. He's omniscient. He knows everything. We just know about our bodies, what's happening in our, but I don't know about what's happening in everyone else's mind. Yeah? What they are thinking. What we're going to make for lunch. Who's going to pick up the kids. I cannot see that. And you cannot see, I might be planning the same things. So, but Krishna, actually, what we think we know about, we don't even know ourselves as well. Sometimes our mind says this, sometimes our mind says that. Is it the heart speaking, is it the soul speaking, is it Paramatma speaking or my mind speaking? I don't even know myself actually. But Krishna actually knows me clearly, even better than myself. And how? Because he always gives me what's best for me. For devotees, he always gives what's the best for the devotee. He will always give what you need rather than what your mind is asking for. So Krishna is omniscient. He knows everything. And he is the cause of all causes. He was the start, of the creation. From him the creation emanates. Everything emanates. Aham sarvasva prabhavo. Everything emanates from me. Everything belongs to me. I'm the proprietor of everything. Yeah? I'm the enjoyer. Bhoktaram yagatapasam sarva loka maheshwaram. Yeah? He's the well-wisher of everyone. Suhridam sarva bhutanam. And then he's also Ishwar. He's a supreme controller. So I know things can, he's a controller, I don't want to deal with a controller. I don't want to be controlled. But that doesn't just remove the fact, whoever is a controller. You like it or not, But good thing is, he's just not an ordinary controller. He's also sweet at the same time. But what we are trying to emphasize is, before you know his sweetness, you first know his position. Then we can appreciate his sweetness. And there is other way around as well, Sometimes we see people only hearing about opulences of Krishna and not reach Canto 10. They are struggling, they cannot finish Bhagavatam. It's taking a lot of time and it's real, challenges. And what we see is eventually they are appreciating Krishna's opulences so much but not reaching the sweetness which is in Canto 10. One can actually become devotee of Narayan. Because Narayan has all these opulences. It's Narayan is Krishna's expansion. So we might have only partial realization of what Krishna is. We cannot even reach his sweetness, so we cannot understand Krishna. And without understanding Krishna's sweetness, and Krishna's relationship with the Vrindavan residents, we actually cannot enter Golok Vrindavan. We can enter till Vaikuntha, but we need to understand that, because we need to eventually, if we want to serve there, we first need to know, okay, what is the actual relation like? And that's very advanced, but if we progress properly, understand his opulences first, and then his rich sweetness in Canto 10, then we have a full picture, of the best we can have, but this is the fullest picture we can have, and it's a really good position to be in, to understand Krishna. So, so we have to understand that he is the supreme being, but he is also a sweet cowherd boy as well. Yeah. So we need to become conscious of both his aspects. What are the both aspects? Opulences and sweetness. Yes. Okay, now let's discuss, we need to know about what we need to know, how we need to know, what aspects we want to know. Now let's discuss what's the benefits of knowing Krishna's opulence and sweetness. Prabhu, you are asking to do all those things, lot of investment, lot of paper signing, what's in for me? What do I get out of it? Very important. It's good to know your benefit first, because that will be the driving factor of why I need to do that. Yeah. So if Krishna is all pervading, for example, if one of these opulences, he's all pervading, what advantage I have with that, So materials can think actually, oh, he's all pervading. He's like watching me all the time. It's like a big brother, I've got no privacy, So materialists can be, actually be reluctant, oh my God, he's seeing us. That's not good. I need my private time. But a devotee can think, if he is everywhere, I can surrender to him every moment. I can talk to him everywhere, I can seek his protection at any moment. Devotee thinks like that. He's everywhere. I don't have to go to it. I can just see him everywhere. Of course we need to come to a temple because we need association of devotees. We see the 9 processes of devotional service are practiced so nicely here. And that's a very, very encouraging factor. But sometimes we don't get time, and sometimes we are outside, we are working, and then if we have a moment to spare, we can see Krishna everywhere. My God, that's an amazing thing to have. It's an amazing power to have. You'll be in bliss if you can see Krishna everywhere. So, we say, Ito Narsimha, Parato Narsimha. He's here, he's there. Yato yami, tato Narsimha. Wherever I go, he's present. Yeah. Bahir Narsimha, Hridaye Narsimha. He's outside, he's inside the heart. Narsimha Adim Sharanam Prapadya. I seek his shelter all the time. Yeah. So, we need to understand he's omnipresent. Oh my God, I can actually talk to him everywhere. Yeah. So, if we have faith, we have to have faith. Otherwise, there will be a disconnection between our practical life and the Krishna Leelas that we hear. So we hear so many nice Krishna Leelas, yeah? We hear Krishna's pastimes, or we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, different pastimes with devotees. But then we can say, okay, these are nice, but they are very good stories, and some of them come in the small books as well for children with nice pictures, beautiful. But it has got nothing to do with my daily life. My daily life, my daily problems, this doesn't solve it. That's separate and this is separate. Yeah? So if we don't have faith, that Krishna, all these about these opulences, we'll have a disconnect between Krishna Leela and our daily lives. So, but in the practical, if in the practical life, if you don't have faith that, Krishna is with us all the time, that he will always protect us, that he will actually maintain us. So, if we don't have that, in our day-to-day life, we will actually notice we are very, very anxious about everything. Who will look after me? Who will look after my family? Who will look after my material affairs? Who will look after, my journey? No one, If we don't have faith, then we'll be anxious. So, why? Because we are not fully cognizant of Krishna at the moment. We are not conscious that he is aware everywhere. So we don't have to just realize that he's so strong, he's so big. But at the same time, he is very sweet. Imagine, such a big person who's very powerful, he's very knowledgeable, he's got so much, wealth, he's got so much power, but he doesn't know you. What advantage he brings to you? He will enjoy all his opulences, but he doesn't know you. So, yeah. But Krishna, although having all the opulences, he is our best friend. He is our well-wisher, the best well-wisher, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. So that's the reason we have to think about Krishna, because he is powerful and yet he is my best friend. Yeah? So if we know Krishna is our best friend, we'll actually have faith that, Krishna will actually use his opulences to protect us. Yeah? So sometimes we think, I was in this material problem and Krishna never protected me. But what Krishna tries to protect is our consciousness, is our bhakti. And sometimes for that, he can give us material opulence, and sometimes he can take material opulences. For him, it's just a resource, It's just a tool to get the devotee closer to Krishna. If that is a distraction to the devotee, he will take that material wealth away. But if that wealth can help devotee focus more on Krishna, he will give that wealth. So again, he knows us more than us. He knows what we need. We actually don't know what we need, because we are always thinking at the platform of body, mind and senses. This is my body. I need this to maintain my body. These are the expansions of my body. I need this to expansion of my body. These are my senses. Senses needs gratification. I need this to please my senses. I need this to please my mind. And actually you'll get it and you'll realize, my mind is not pleased and is asking for something else, So we cannot trust our body, mind and senses. Krishna knows our benefit more than we can ever even imagine. So, Srila Jiva Goswami, so he's one of the 6 Goswamis. You see the 6 Goswamis' pictures. So, Jiva Goswami is the youngest of the Goswami. He's actually analyzed how one should surrender to Krishna and engage in service of Krishna. So, he says, he mentions few reasons, So, one reason is, like God is great and we are small. So, small should serve the great. Another reason is our constitutional position, which is Jivera Swarupa Hoye Krishnera Nityadas. We are the eternal servant and Krishna is the master. The servant should serve the master. That's another reason. And different people can get attracted to different reasons depending on the mood they have. The third is, we are, our constitutional position. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We are part but separated parcel of Krishna as well. So because we are part of Krishna, the part should serve the whole. It's like a hand needs to serve the body, not just the hand. If hand is hungry, you will not just go in a bag of rice and eat hand. Eye needs to look at the rice, Mind needs to tell the eyes how to get there, the intelligence, and hand needs to pick it up. Then again, where to put? Not in the tummy, it puts in the mouth. The mouth does its job of grinding and whatever, tasting, and then it goes down, goes into the stomach. Stomach does the process of digesting, it goes everywhere. So each part is doing its job. So if each part of our body that Krishna has given us is doing its job, why can't we do our job? If he is the whole, we are the part, why can't we just do our job this life of being a very, very sincere part and not just try to eat the rice ourselves? Yeah. So that's another way of Jiva Goswami says is why should we engage in service to Krishna? Another reason is because Krishna's affectionate dealings and merciful protection of his devotees. What? Krishna's affectionate dealings and his merciful protection of his devotees. That's another reason we should serve Krishna. And actually Jiva Goswami says this is the best reason why we should serve Krishna. Because of Krishna's affectionate dealings and merciful protection of his devotees. That's why that's the best reason. If we could, serve Krishna because of this reason, we can meditate on that, why I need to serve Krishna. So we read, pastimes, in Canto 10 we have heard, about how Krishna protects his friends against so many demons, who come to Gokul or Vrindavan. So, we shouldn't think, oh, these are just nice stories for kids' entertainment, These are real stories. Because in material world, we are in material world, in my day-to-day life, who will come to protect me? That happened in that here or 5,000 years back. Who's going to come to protect me? So, so we need to also understand what practical application I can, do from these stories. So there is actually a practical application. So we should actually think, if Krishna protects his friends who are surrendered to him, because they have complete faith in Krishna. And sometimes you'll see they have so much surrender, they will just jump into the jaws of a demon because, oh, Krishna will protect me. They've got full surrender on Krishna, over surrender. So what we see is how Krishna protects his friends, the residents of Vrindavan, If he protects them because they are surrendered, what if I surrender to them, Krishna? If I surrender to Krishna, actually he will protect me in the same way he protects the cowherd boys from all the adversities. It's just that I've just not been able to surrender yet. But if I do surrender, at least theoretically I know that Krishna will protect. Yeah? And Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita in the last is just surrender unto me. Because then you don't have to worry about anything. Then we are under Krishna's jurisdiction, Krishna's management, and it's just everything is cleared for us. It's like how a VIP gadi comes, like of a politician comes in India, and they just close everything and it just passes through. So we have then, because it's not because a politician is great. He's part of a government. He has got a responsible position. Yeah, he's a servant of the government. And who's the government here is Krishna. So becomes Krishna's servant. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the challenges in life. He will look after us. He will take whatever is not needed. He will give you what we need, what we lack. So we see, that the amount of love, care and affection Krishna shares with the residents of Vrindavan, including the animals, including the trees. So if I become devotee of Krishna, not only he protects me, I can actually experience that love. Like how many times actually we have experienced real love in life? Real love, completely unmotivated, everyone surrendering everything to you, no expectation in return. Actually very rarely. If you actually go back in our lives, very few moments actually. I'm not saying people do it, but it's very rare. Imagine that person is doing with that every person. Krishna is sharing that pure love with everyone. I can experience that. And the bliss I have, once I have that bliss, actually I'll lose taste for all these mundane material pleasures. That satisfaction you get from someone's real reciprocation of love, you just lose all other taste. So I can actually get that if I just surrender to Krishna. So, we should treat the Krishna in Vrindavan same as the Krishna in my heart, same as the Krishna in the atom, same as the Krishna in between the atoms. So we should try to see that same Krishna is outside, everywhere, all pervading as well. He is omniscient, he is omnipresent. He is the cause of all causes. So we should try to see Krishna, his opulences everywhere. And the soul is Satchit Ananda. Soul is actually soul is eternal, soul has knowledge, soul has bliss. But because we are covered in this body, we're covered with body, mind, and its material senses, that's why we cannot experience that. But if we actually attain our true nature, a soul can understand this true nature of Satchit Ananda, and understand that we are we exist to serve Krishna. We exist to increase his pleasure, then we can experience that love. And you can say, okay, me increasing Krishna's pleasure, but Krishna has so many devotees. We went to a yatra there in south, and we went to the Ranganath temple, and how many hours, Prabhu, we took, and we said there are devotees who must be living, coming here like every day or every week, and such a big queue. said, how many devotees of Krishna? What is my position? I'm just coming here once in a lifetime here, and I think, oh, I've done a great job. And there are devotees, they were standing in the line a day back to have darshan on Vaikuntha Ekadashi to hold a spot on a queue, one day back, so that because the queue goes really big. That's the amount of love people have just to see Krishna, So what is my position? I can sometimes think, I am actually very insignificant, And that can actually demoralizing. So insignificant knowing is good, humility is good, as long as it drives us to know more. Okay, I don't know much, but that means I need to try to know much. But it should not be that humble, oh, I don't know much, so there is no use of trying. That's not good. That's Maya. Yeah? So, if we know that we don't know much, but what my position is. So, but Krishna, actually has so many devotees, but he still needs us. Why he needs us? Because, you'll be surprised, he actually created each of us very, very individually. No two people are same. Everyone has a unique composition, a unique consciousness, a unique taste, a unique style of serving Krishna. So, if we don't understand, if we don't follow this process and become realized and eventually get Krishna to reveal our true identity, our true relationship with Him, we are actually, what we are doing, we are depriving Krishna to experience that pleasure that can only come from us. Yeah? So it's not just for us. We're actually depriving Krishna because there is because we are all individual, we are different, and we all have to offer something unique. Yeah? It's not, standard thing, oh, everyone XL size, same shirt, no, it's not. Everyone is very, very cut out. It's like everyone's completely different. So if not only we are ourselves giving, not progressing ourselves, but we're also not giving Krishna that pleasure that he deserves. He's the enjoyer. He should be, and we are his part and we are his parts. The parts should serve the whole. If we are not going towards Krishna, we are actually depriving him as well of that unique pleasure. So we are meant for this. We are meant to come back to Krishna, to serve him. And to achieve that, we need to follow the process, as we discussed. And if we follow the process, the process is the endeavor. But we make progress not just by endeavor, as we have heard in the Damodar Leela. It's not just the endeavor. It's the endeavor, when we do the endeavor, okay, again, example. So, Mataji, if you see someone actually working really hard, in the temple, cleaning, cooking, not, compromising his prasadam, compromising, some people are washing pots when Aarti is happening, people are having in bliss, dancing here, people washing pots. When you go out and then you become aware of that, how will you feel about them? What emotion will come in your mind when you see them? Yes, will you have gratitude? Will have appreciation? Oh my God, this person is sacrificing his time, and actually doing for all of us, all this. So, this is what happens. When someone does endeavor, the mercy gets awakened. So, when we do endeavor of process, Krishna's mercy is invoked. Vaishnava's mercy is invoked. That invoking we need. Because through that mercy actually we make progress. Endeavor is mandatory. Endeavor, you have to do something to invoke mercy. You cannot just sit idle. No one appreciating a person sitting idle. Kids especially, sitting idle. Okay, do something, but load the dishwasher at least. So, but if someone does something, it invokes mercy. When kids do some extra work, oh my God, you did really well. You should get a lolly today. Out of cycle lolly, not the weekend lolly. You get the weekday lolly. You did really well. So it invokes mercy, natural. If we have that, and Krishna is the most merciful, Vaishnavas are the most merciful. Imagine if we work for Krishna, if we work for his facility, if we serve his devotees, how much mercy we can invoke. And again, we can just bypass all the process, There is inner city bypass, yeah? Brisbane? Bypass. Not go to the city and the traffic and wait and this and that. Just bypass. So, let's get more mercy by serving. Get those Hare Krishna cards. Sakira Prabhu made. Prabhu marketing your cards. So yes, and Vaishnava not actually, we say, oh, Vaishnava give us money. Actually, Vaishnavas actually pull us out of our situation from material existence and out, into a spiritual realm. If we actually look at it, where were we? At some point of time, we were trying to enjoy our senses. And a Vaishnava comes, by hearing him or by associating him or by, just being impressed by his acharan, by being impressed by his behavior. We develop some higher taste, some higher desire to serve Krishna, to know about myself, to know about Krishna. And that's how he literally pulled us into the clutches of Maya actually. So Vaishnavas, the point that we are sitting here is that we have already experienced mercy in our lives. So there is no doubt about us in the power of mercy. It's just that we need to understand, oh, this is how I got here and that's how it works. Let me focus more on that. Let me do so much work that this Vaishnava's mercy will be invoked. People used to do tapasya back in the day. Why? They do tapasya and some demigod has to appear. It's their job to reciprocate if someone's doing an austerity. So if someone does an endeavor in bhakti, imagine, that's just material mostly. But if someone doing real spiritual work, how much mercy we can invoke. So you all are doing so much work. I know, and so much devotees here work all the time, in the background. So it's invoking this mercy, and that's one of the reasons we are sitting in the Srimad Bhagavatam hearing. So we need to have faith in the process. And if we have real faith in Krishna, then we can surrender and take up the process completely. Not just my custom process, I'll follow this, but then I have this life, and I'll follow takes. You just follow the process, get it right. Get it right, get it done. Point A to B. No third point B, point C, point. No 2 degrees deviation. And everything else will follow. So, sorry I've got a bit over time, but we started late as well.
We finished by 9.
Oh, Haribo.
So we still have 20 minutes.
No, you have to 5 minutes.
So I'll just repeat what we discussed. We discussed the background of what's happening in this chapter. What Lord Brahma did and why he was apologizing, his prayers. And then we're saying, okay, who's offering prayers? Understand position of Lord Brahma, He is the first entity, He is the person who has the knowledge and he cannot understand Krishna through his body, mind and words. And then we understand, okay, his body, mind and words are so opulent and they can understand Krishna. So first we understand our position that we don't never say we know about Krishna. We are trying to learn about Krishna. Yeah? So we learned about that, what position of Lord Brahma and eventually what's our position with respect to that. Then we learned about how do we get knowledge about Krishna's opulences. So, we discussed how Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita that one who knows my transcendental activities and appearances, then basically they can go back to Godhead. They can come to Krishna. And then we say, okay, how do we get this? Anyone new? Mataji?
The process.
Mataji came here. What's the process of getting that knowledge? Bhakti, devotional service. Yes. And bhakti is devotional service, not devotion. Which is great. Thank you. Okay, then we discuss what aspects we want to know about Krishna. The 2 aspects. And is one is important than other, or second is important? Which is better, or both are?
First we have to understand opulences to understand the sweetness.
Yes. Very good, Mataji. We have to first understand opulences and sweetness, but understanding both is very important. One without the other will leave us, misdirected. We'll have partial understanding. And then we can make mistakes. We can get deviated. And we discussed the example of Jeff Bezos. Prabhu said Jeff Bezos. So yeah, basically how we need to know about someone to appreciate someone. And then we discuss about what are the benefits of knowing about Krishna's opulences and sweetness. So we discussed, if Krishna can protect his friends, who surrender to him. Imagine if I surrender to him, I get same protection. And not just protection, the amount of reciprocation he has with the residents of Vrindavan, the loving exchanges, I don't actually get any drop of that in this material world. I experience that. And when I experience that, I'll leave all other taste that are detracting me to progress further. So, we need to surrender to Krishna. And then last we just discussed about following the process and doing endeavor, because endeavor invokes mercy of the Vaishnavas, which is the key ingredient that will determine how fast we'll make progress. Eventually everyone will get there, but everyone wants to get there early, isn't it? So we should have greed, lolyam. I want it now. I don't want to wait for tomorrow. I might lose opportunity. Someone else will take it, this service. I'll take this service. Yeah? Okay, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Any questions or any comments or any corrections from anyone?
I have
Sure.
3 questions, Prabhu.
Hari Bol.
They might be interlinked also.
Sure.
I would like you to answer if you can. One is, you can tell all these things to a person who has filled a stomach, so he can sit and listen to this. So what will you say to a person who doesn't get a meal a day? That's one. The second one is, the people who got hit in Bangladesh, the ISKCON devotees, to such people, what is Krishna's role in that particular instance? And the third question is, I was discussing to one of the person last week, a Westerner, where she was telling about her problems with the kids and this one. So I said, probably ISKCON might be a good solution for you. But she said, in this world of instant gratification and instant solutions, do you guys have some kind of an instant solution where it can be solved? I said, probably that's not something that I can tell you now. You need to experience it before I can tell you that. She said, oh, I have been to Tony Roberts' discussions and he gives so many solutions. So you guys don't have such solutions. So I said, I don't have that kind of a solution, but if you have the experience, when you get the solution. So those are the 3 questions, basic
Sure,
questions from my side. So if you can let us know what should be our answers to such questions.
Sure. Take it over.
You know, I saw a church sign. It says, God, give me patience, but please hurry.
True. Very true.
So, from here, go ahead.
Prabhu answered your third question.
Oh.
So, yeah, Prabhu, very nice questions. Thank you again for asking this question. So, first question was, someone cannot have food in the stomach. So, you're absolutely right, Prabhu. I think even Prabhupada emphasized distribution of prasadam as the first and the foremost things. Like Prabhupada used to say that in a certain kilometer zone and in a temple, everyone should be fed. No one should be hungry. No one should be left out hungry. So, I think if we need to understand the process also indicates the power of prasadam. How prasadam can actually change consciousness. And how Prabhupada says prasadam actually develops some higher brain tissues, and that helps us understand spiritual matters. So I think if someone's in that position, we have to be understanding, we have to be compassionate, just we would be to any other person, that we should first try to bring them to a normalcy, which is by feeding them prasadam. And once they are ready, and if they have, and depending on your relationship, depending on the kind of conversation you have, if they have energy to explore further or there is any chance, then yes, of course, we can try to give them association and then introduce them to different processes of Krishna consciousness. But of course, we have to first get them to normalcy by feeding them prasadam, Prabhu.
So, one time, a couple was getting married, and they asked Prabhupada to give some blessings. And Prabhupada said, before you take your meal, go out of the house and call. If anyone is hungry around, please come and share my meal. And only once they've eaten, then you eat. So this devotee got confused. He says, like what is this on my marriage day? And then, he thought Prabhupada didn't understand the question. And he asked again, he says, Prabhupada, if you're getting married, then can you please give us blessings? Prabhupada said, go out of your house, shout, if anyone is hungry, please come and share our meal, and then after they've eaten, you take prasadam. So, the point is that the story was recently told to us, that as all of us sitting here are grihasthas, we should understand that charity is our first occupation. We should be charitable. That's number one. So, as he said, the Prabhupada said that anyone within the 10 kilometers radius of the temple must not go hungry. We are also starting very shortly providing prasadam to different community centers here. We're starting with Mount Kirbat Community Center, and within I think a week or 10 days, we're going to start in a small manner and then gradually expand from there. That's what we're going to do. And again, because we'll give them prasadam, it will not only, as people said, satisfy their stomach, but also satisfy their minds and spirit.
Thank you. Thank you, Sakira Prabhu. And then Prabhu, you asked the second question of the atrocities that happened to some people in Bangladesh. So these things are really unfortunate. So see, spiritual knowledge can be applied, we have to understand the context by applying spiritual knowledge. So when something like this happens to me, what does the Shastra tells me? Everything happens for a reason. There is karma, there is reaction to the karma. So internally I know something's happening to me, it's because I have been, I have done some mischief in the past and I'm getting some karma. So what devotees think is, my karma is getting cleared. Krishna is actually helping me by clearing this karma. One Prabhupada finger got cut, and devotees said, Prabhupada, your finger got cut. And devotees had Prabhupada in so on reverence, like, oh, Prabhupada, it's Prabhupada. In so much love, how can, he's a devotee, how can his finger get cut? And Prabhupada says, Krishna is so kind. He should have cut my arm, he should cut up my arm, but he just let me go with just cutting my finger. So devotee sees always Krishna's mercy. So this is, I'm looking from perspective of a devotee, and especially our own perspective. If something happens to me, I need to know what scripture is telling me that, firstly, everything's happened for a reason, and secondly, that Krishna is actually helping me out of a situation, somehow, of a bigger problem, because he will, he knows me better than myself. Yeah? But when we see that something like happens to others, we cannot apply the same lens. We need to apply the lens of compassion. We need to see, okay, it happened, what happened, how happened, I don't know, but let me see, how can I now contribute in getting him from point A to point B? He's actually being further pushed away from point A because of the challenges. So whatever a devotee tries to do is feed them, give them shelter, make them, just like these are human, this is not even a devotee, this is human requirements. We should get them to a position. And of course, eventually, the real benefit, once they are ready, once they are situated, we can introduce them to Krishna consciousness at some point. And then once they read that, they become a devotee and they themselves understand it, okay, that's why this is happening. So this is my perspective on that, Prabhu. But Sakhi Prabhu, do you want to add something to that?
So you specifically refer to the incident in Bangladesh, right? So do we know what happened after that? This is important to know what happened after that also. Two things happened. If I'm not mistaken, I think one or two devotees actually were killed also. But I might be wrong completely. Yeah. So one is that when these things happen, of course these are very unfortunate incidents. Sitting here in a nice, like a nice environment, I just cannot, give all this theory. So first we are told that, when something like this happens, if we can, of course we are far, so we have to pray for them. But if they are close to them, we give them our shoulders, we give them our hearts, for them to cry, for their families to cry, whatever support we can give them. Now when such a trauma happens, people go through three phases. The first one is called trauma. So, and these periods vary from individual to individual, from village to village, from community to community. So first stage is called trauma. Trauma is there for quite some time, and that's the time when people need most care. Then, after the period of trauma, the period of pain is there. The pain is there for quite some time, and after that the healing starts. So we have to understand, and there are devotees on the ground also who are mature devotees who understand these situations, and they have also helped, right? So that's, this happened. Now if you go into the cause of what has happened, we can talk about, like till the cows come home. We are not going to go for that. The second thing is what it did afterwards is that it united a lot of the spiritualists worldwide because of social media. Not only in Bangladesh, but worldwide, it united united and put pressure to the government, especially in these countries with the radicals, that please make sure that people are allowed enough freedom to practice their own spiritual paths. So yes, we are going through difficult times. I mean, also what's happening in different parts of the world, at one point of time there were almost 4 wars going on. But, can we, exercise, I suppose, some compassion there. Pray for them. Prayers are very powerful. And these things, we have to really understand that applying just philosophy, dry philosophy in these instances might backfire. So we have to be genuinely concerned. In England, the devotees did an exercise with Swami. He says, if, say, some earthquake happens or somewhere, something big, disaster happens, and if you are, say, going to address the community, you have to give 4 responses. One is sensitive but not effective. Not sensitive, not effective. Effective but not sensitive, and effective and sensitive. And the devotees were actually made to go through these exercises to work out what sort of response will we give. Of course, according to Shastra. We cannot deviate from Shastra. Because Shastra will always tell the truth. Is that true? Yeah? Correct.
Krishna, does that satisfy you, brother?
Yeah, second one. Third one, probably.
Third one, actually, kind of Sakira Prabhu answered that question.
What is that? Third one is if someone asks, like the lady was saying, she had some issues with her children, and she's going through Tony Robbins' videos and teachings and other things. So I said you should visit ISKCON. There are certain things which get solved. Visit Hassan Prasadam and other. She said, I am looking for an instant solution, not for a long-term solution. So do you have something for it?
Did the problem happen instantly? No. When the kids are, of that nature, it doesn't happen instantly. If a rope is really tightened, by being there for quite some time, it needs some time to unwind. So, you cannot have an instant solution. You have to say, no, please understand. The problem has taken not only this lifetime, it has taken many, many lifetimes, right? And actually, unfortunately, that's the nature of society we live in. Please, mind everyone. It's not only us here. The entire society is like that. How many of you have gone through kids in primary school here? How many of you? Few of us, right? How many of the kids' friends had a second mother, third father, fourth, whatever it is? What is that? It's a systemic problem which people are not really recognizing. And that's why we try to propagate this actual culture of civilization that yes, if you live properly, not like animals, problems won't happen like this. One of my friends, my godbrother in Sydney, they had some approval to be got from City Council. And even the town planner said that you cannot get this approval. When he went to meet the City Council people, they asked him, why should we give you this approval? He said, by you giving this approval, you are actually allowing us to help people with mental health challenges, people with depression issues, people with all the other social issues what we have. We are actually trying to help them at this place. And then he gave whole reasons why, how we are actually helping them like that. So it's no instant solution, bro. That's the big mistake we have. We want instant solutions, and that's why we're getting big problems.
Yes, Ruth, I think the best thing you can do, which is, if it works for you, is explain to her that there is no instant solution. That's the first position of knowledge she needs to come at. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure, Mataji.
10.14.38.
Okay.
The Jagat Etat Tavar Pitam. So I offer this one universe unto you. The Lord Brahma says to Krishna, but everything is Krishna's. Is it how Brahma can offer that to Krishna? Is it like how we prepare prasadam, it is Krishna's only, but still the feeling we just give it. Is that the same?
Yes,
feeling?
Mataji, exactly same.
Okay.
You
Yes.
answered your question. Prabhupada gives an example. Prabhupada gives an example when a small child wants to give a gift to the father. So he will tell his mother to give some money from father's wallet, buy the gift, and then give it to father. So, the same thing. When we want to, Brahma is offering, Prabhupada also says that when you want to worship Ganga, you worship with what?
Ganga
Ganga
water.
water. You go in Ganga, take with Anjali. Yes. So same thing. Yeah.
But Krishna appreciates Mataji.
And
Krishna
why-
appreciates.
That's why one thing, I always use, I never use the word donate. We are not donating into Krishna or the temple. We are offering to Krishna. People use the word, I donated so much money, or I donated this, I'm going to donate this, I want to donate this. No. We are actually offering it to Krishna. Because anyway, everything belongs to
It's
Krishna.
everything is Krishna's.
So we always use the word, I want to offer this service to Krishna, I want to offer this finance money to Krishna, and offer this to Krishna. Yeah. Donation means it is mine.
Nothing is ours.
Hare Krishna.
I am also not a mine. Prabhu.
There was this, you mentioned about Jiva Goswami analyzed how we should serve Lord Krishna.
Yes.
Why we should. Did you say 6?
Yeah, actually I heard that from a class of His Holiness Giriraj Swami. So I have...
What are the 2?
There could be more. Actually, he was just mentioning some examples. Yes, so there could be more, yes. If you want, I can try to get you the verse. Any other questions? Last chance?
Just one.
Sure, Mataji.
If you, no, not a question, it's just a request. If you have a note for this class, today's class, can you share?
Yeah, I've got everything like a script.
Yeah. Because some of the points I missed to write it down.
That's okay, Mataji. You'll get a bound script. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
You can give class. I put a class in where anyone can give a class. Just read it.
Actually, we do that. Sometimes we do that. We say that in ISKCON, plagiarism is officially encouraged.
Yeah, don't invent on your own. Plagiarize. It's better.
If anyone is in the university or studying, they know plagiarism is not allowed. But of course, ChatGPT has come now, but it's now.
Yeah.
But we've been doing it for years. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Krishna Bhakti Yoga Hare Krishna Temple ki, Hare Krishna. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.
This copy paste is a nice story I recently heard. One time,